I am the Craft Dad.
How you doing, YouTube Nation? This is Craft Dad. I'm back, Orlon03. I'm going to be making my swords today, or at least starting it, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing and the process I'm using.
So starting off, I tried sanding the textured surface and realized that a belt sander would have worked a lot better here or my orbital sander. So starting off, I'm going to use some pins and actually tack down the image that I printed off. This is to help ensure that the image doesn't shift as I do the tracing. That becomes a problem when you're dealing with paper, and this is one of the reasons why I also opted for using the cardstock paper at 120 weight. As you can see here, I'm using a black permanent marker, and of course the marker died. So as you prepare to do this, make sure you've got a good black marker. I like using the black markers because they don't score or engrave into the foam the way a pencil or pen does. I like to be able to um, cut where I want and not have to worry about am I getting that scoring or scraped edge in my final product. But since I know I'm going to be dremeling the edge here, that wouldn't be an issue for this weapon. So once you've completed with one side, remember we've got to make two sides, unless you're making this only thick as one. Since I'm doing two swords, I need four sides total. You can do this with just one piece. Just understand that whatever you use as your center core to strengthen it you may end up having to cut the foam completely out of the middle and gluing it to the sides of whatever it is you're going to use, which is, reasonable. As you can see, my foam is almost ready for me to start cutting out. I am missing the curvature part that's at the top of the blade, and so I grab my compass, and I actually do the scoring since it's easier this way for the rounded objects. I didn't use the image printed off because I didn't want to cut the handle on the image off, and I know the image itself, because it's 3D, it's going to give me a slightly picture that's off. Now for the fun part, cutting out the template. I prefer to use a soldering iron with a knife attachment. You can easily find these online at Amazon or Google. I couldn't find one in a craft store, so this one I did have to order through the internet. As you can see here, I'm using a ruler, and I'm slowly just, cutting away small pieces at a time. I do some larger sections now and then, but I prefer to do smaller sections. That way it gives the blade time to heat up so that it can easily cut through the foam, and I have more control over what I'm cutting. I cut the swords out one at a time to give me more flexibility with rotating the sword around so that I can get better cut angles. One of the key things to remember when using a soldering knife is you want to hold it as much at a 90-degree angle to the surface you're cutting. If you're too much at an angle, you could end up cutting into the shape you want to keep. Once you become more confident with the soldering knife, you can actually freehand cut more and still get fairly straight edges. Um, it is difficult and you can easily burn yourself, so please be careful. Alright, so as you see here, I've got two sides pinned together, and now I need to figure out how far into the template I want my core material to be. So what I'm going to do first is figure out where the gems are going to be that I'm going to try to actually put into the weapon and make glow. Once I figure that out, I know the length of what I want. As you can see here, I flipped to the inside and had to redo my line because I wanted to use the smooth surface on the inside in order to adhere the two sides together. It gives me a much better contact and smoother seam when I start dremeling the edges. As you can see here, I'm dremeling out the center. I just started the Dremel and started pulling in a straight line. Now I am zoomed fast forwarding here, so I took my time doing this to make sure I got lines that were fairly straight. I don't have to be 100% accurate since this is on the inside of the weapon and just is only used to hold the core material, which for me is PVC pipe. As you can see here, I'm just rubbing the edges out, getting some of the foam nice and smooth again, and doing test fits to see if I need to go further down. You want to be careful because if you go too far down, you're going to come out on the other side of your template here and you'll have to do some repairs. Now if you're doing a single layer weapon, then you're going to want to cut this center section out completely and just use a glue gun or some other adhesive and glue the foam to the PVC pipe. For the Dremel, I used the sanding bit. So as you can see here, did another quick test fit, and now I'm cutting the PVC pipes to length. If you have a mask, I suggest wearing one as the dust from the foam can be harmful to your health. As you can see here, we have a good base sword to begin working with. Thank you for watching, and as always, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos.